What is going on, guys? SkiveWalker here, and I'm finally back. I've been sick. Okay, I had probably a case of bronchitis, so I've been coughing my head off for like 2 weeks, and it's been like a week since I haven't coughed my head off, so I'm finally back, able to talk again without sounding like I've chain smoked for 30 years. So it's wonderful. Good, great, grand, wonderful. And before we get right into it, there's some things we got to address. Obviously, the episode that we said is going to be the first episode on iTunes, it's still not up. And I have tried to upload it there 3 times now. All 3 times it's giving me an error message. And I thought I for sure got it the 3rd time. And if you don't know, when you submit it to iTunes, it takes a few days for them to get back to you, whether you are approved for it or whether they decline it. And the first 2 times it took them like 3 days, and they declined it. The 3rd time I tried it, it took like a week before they finally got back to me, and they declined it for basically the same reason. So I'm going to have a little bit of time this weekend to mess with it, so I'm going to try to get that up. And as well as me and TheFett are going to try to get together also this weekend. So hopefully I can get 2 episodes up on iTunes, and we can get rolling. I can figure out why it won't just go through. We do have it on SoundCloud, though. We are on SoundCloud, so definitely go check us out over there as well. If it's easier for you to listen to it over there than it is via YouTube, please go check us out over there, and definitely check out the website. Hopefully we can get episodes streamlined over there, or at least the link to it. So we're going to be looking into that as well as time moves forward. So now that we got business out of the way, and the reason why it is not up on iTunes, and the reason why I have kind of been MIA for a while, is that I've really been MIA from all realities. Basically, during that 30 below week, I felt sicker than a dog. I took 2.5 days off really from that week, and it was just a big, massive pain in the butt. So we're not going to take a lot of time today as either. It is Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there. I wanted to record this yesterday and got out of work late, and it is what it is. So here we go. We're here this morning at 7:39 in the morning. Let's get right into it. Starting off, the Cleveland Cavaliers last night. Did anybody stay up and watch the game? I fell asleep. Excuse me. Before the third quarter ended, or the third overtime ended. So by the time the game was ended, I was asleep. To be honest with you, I didn't watch much of the game. I got home from work. Me and Mrs. SkiveWalker were watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, because I just bought all 3 seasons on DVD, so we were watching that. As Mrs. SkiveWalker had a pretty nasty migraine, so we stayed home from church last night. And so we watched a few episodes of that. I started to fall asleep. We went up into bed. I checked out what the Cavs game was looking like, and it was tied with 2 minutes left. So I flipped it on and watched the end of the 4th and the first 2 overtimes, then didn't quite make it for the 3rd overtime. But the Cavs fall to 12-46. They lose the game 148-139 as Damari Carroll hit a buzzer beater at the end of the 2nd overtime to send it to a 3rd, and then D'Lo just came in and just destroyed the Cavs. D'Angelo Russell had 36 points. And then a fan favorite, well, not really a fan favorite, but a former Cav, Joe Harris, kind of shredded us with 25 as well. But our own Jordan Clarkson dropping 42. Colin Sexton with 24, 6 rebounds and 5 assists. And then Marquise Chris, he's been a great addition, 23 points and 7 boards. So Larry Nance's double-double streak ends as he finishes with 8 points, but 14 rebounds. Larry Nance has been good in this recent stretch of Cavs basketball. Chetty Osman's first game back, drops 13 points and 5 rebounds. Pretty solid game in 25 minutes. And Kevin Love didn't play. So we've had a lot go on. So Rodney Hood's gone. Alec Burks is gone. We got first-rounders. We got second-rounders. We got Marquise Chris. We got Brandon Knight. And we got Nick Stauskas back. That's proper English. Nick Stauskas came back to Cleveland. So we got him in a trade, traded him back away, and then we were able to sign him. So normally in the NBA, once you trade a player, you can't sign him for a whole year. However, with the NBA's weird trade rules, you're able to trade a player, I guess, within 48 hours, and then he's not even really considered part of your team, and then you can re-sign him. The NBA has some crazy trade rules, okay? So, and they also have crazy, you can't trade a player after you sign them for 40 days, whatever. So, a lot of new shakeups. Apparently, the Cavs wanted to reenact last year when they traded half the team away. But Marquise Chris, been a great addition. Stauskas was limited to 7 points. Stauskas really isn't going to be a superstar player here. He's really just a bottom-tier bench role player kind of guy. But Marquise Chris has been playing well. Even Brandon Knight, he didn't have a great game last night, but he also only played 15 minutes, but he's played pretty well. He's got a hefty contract, but you got to do that to get the picks. So, Cavs ended up losing in 3 overtimes, almost playing a second full game. It was a fun game. It was entertaining, and the Cavs have been, even though the record's really bad, like I said, at 12-46, they've been a lot more fun to watch lately. So they're starting to win a little bit more, and the games that they lose are not getting blown out as much, and they're keeping games relatively close, at least until the very, very end. So they're no longer becoming a complete laughingstock. They're still a laughingstock, but not a complete one. So I might actually go see the game next Thursday when they come back from the All-Star break, because that was their last game before it. So I'm kind of kicking around paying $3 to go see the Phoenix Suns come to town and see DeAndre Ayton and Devin Booker. So we'll see. You can get in the door for $3, so can't really complain about it, but we'll see. Other bit of news. We're going to stay in the NBA here before we transition to the NFL. And the Anthony Davis situation. So the Pelicans wanted to trade him, or Anthony Davis wanted to be traded from the Pelicans. The Lakers were reportedly giving up half their team and 2 first-round picks, which I thought the Pelicans should have jumped on. And then the Pelicans came back and saying they wanted 4 first-round picks. And I thought that was a little outrageous, but when you have one of the best players in the game, I guess you can demand stuff because he's still under contract for all year next year. So I don't know if they're going to get a better offer than the Lakers half team and 2 first-round picks. Unless, of course, Boston really does offer up Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and then a first-rounder or 2. If that happens, I think you take that and run for your life. Jason Tatum is a good ball player, and Jaylen Brown's no slouch himself. So it really depends on which offer you like. And then, of course, you send Anthony Davis out east and not keep him in your conference and see him and LeBron in La La Land. So, Anthony Davis situation. The NBA is making Anthony Davis play. And I understand he's a superstar. I understand he's one of the faces in the NBA. He's one of the best players in the league. But I don't understand how you can force a team to play a player. And what I mean by that is the NBA is forcing the Pelicans to play him. Why? I mean, I understand why they want to do it, because obviously it helps the league when Anthony Davis plays. Okay? I understand for the Pelicans fans who want to see one of the best players in the league and watch him play for as long as he's going to play in New Orleans or be employed by the Pelicans. I understand all that. I understand that side. But what if Anthony Davis was a role player? So now, I understand superstars get special treatment, but you're going to tell me one guy you're forcing to play, but another guy who wants to play that gets DNP'd by the coach, you're not going to fight for that guy. So you're going to fight for certain players, but not for other players. I'm all for giving special treatment to the superstars, because superstars in the NBA are, well, now they're more prevalent than they ever been because the rules are soft, but you have a lot of good players, and you want them to play. I understand this. I get it, but I don't like where they pick and choose who they want to play. And I don't like that the league is forcing it to happen. So why would you force a Pelicans team where Anthony Davis flat out said, I don't want to play here anymore? You're making that guy play. Maybe he wants to play now that he can't be traded for the rest of the year. I don't know. He hasn't came out and said, I don't want to play basketball. He said, I don't want to play for the Pelicans. Well, he's going to be playing for the Pelicans the rest of the year. He kind of quit on the team and really the fan base, if you think about it. So why would, if from the Pelican standpoint, why would you want to play that guy who said he doesn't want to be here? And I'm kind of on the Pelican side, where if it was a guy like, even here in Cleveland, almost the exact same situation. J.R. Smith demanded a trade. We haven't seen J.R. Smith play since October or early November. The guy's been MIA. The league hasn't came in and said, you have to play that guy. So, and I understand J.R. Smith's not a superstar. I don't even know how much minutes he'd played on the Cavs team now, even if he played all year, to be honest with you, because he's really not that good, and he's fallen off the past few years. But I don't like that they pick and choose players. Where do you draw the line at a superstar? If you want to do a player has averaged this many minutes over this many years, so if he's averaged like 25, 30 plus minutes over 6 years, 5 years, whatever, 4 years, that he must play at least this many minutes. Okay, if you want to make that, I can kind of see it, but there's no rule for it. Now you're just finding a team to find them because they're not playing their best player, and you're kind of avoiding the tanking situation, which I hate tanking. I hate that the Cavs are losing all these games. I want them to win. My competitiveness in me, I want to win every game. And I understand the Cavs are nowhere near even a playoff level right now. But I don't like the idea for tanking for Zion, although I'm starting to warm up to Zion because the guy's just a freak of nature. And what Duke did the other night, coming back down by 24 points in under 9 minutes, was just ridiculous. That game was awesome. But I'm not understanding here. Well, I understand. I don't like is a better word. I don't like what the league is doing with this. And I like Adam Silver a lot as a commissioner. I think he's the best commissioner out of all 4 major sports. Then again, I don't know the hockey commissioner, so I could be wrong. But I like Adam Silver a lot more than I like Robert Manfred. And Roger Goodell is just an idiot. And I think Robert Manfred's probably more of an idiot than Roger Goodell. But I think Adam Silver in the league is making a big mistake here. I don't think they should pick and choose who they play. I don't think they should force a team to play any certain player. And again, I understand it's preventing tanking, but then why didn't they step in the 76ers situation where they tanked for like 4 or 5 years? Or even in the Phoenix Suns, who have been in the top 5, and Fett talked about it the other day. They've been in like the top 10 of the draft for the past decade. They just can't seem to pick a good player, apparently. Besides Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton. And so you're not going to penalize them for not playing a player. But you're going to penalize the Pelicans for playing a player. Or for not playing a player. I don't like it. And I don't think it's right. And I think it's wrong. And I don't think the league should have the authority to step in and say, and tell an organization to have to tell that player to work. It's not like if he doesn't play in games, he doesn't get paid. The guy's still getting paid, okay? Even if he didn't play, he's still going to get paid millions of dollars, okay? So I don't like what the league did in that situation. I don't agree with it, and I won't. I just don't see. Again, I understand you're avoiding tanking and you want the best player to play for that city and for those fans. I get it. And it would be like LeBron James requesting a trade here and the Cavs saying, okay, then we're just not going to play you so we can get a better draft pick. Okay. Like, it's their company. It's their business. Dude, I understand they all come into a league. But at the same time, it's their organization. It's like telling a best worker at their workplace and the employer coming to the employee and said, yeah, I'm going to give you like 3 months off of work paid. Go ahead and take it. Okay. Like, you may see some other employees like complain about it, but what are you really going to do? Like, the government's not going to step in and say, no, he has to go to work. No, if the employer is going to give you free time off, you're going to take it. Okay. So, and I understand this is millions of dollars and not, like 15 an hour maybe, or 12 an hour, I don't know. I don't like it, and I will never like it. Going to the NFL, big trade here. I'm kind of curious to get the Fett's take on it because his boy Joe Flacco is being traded to Denver, and it can't happen until next month. And I don't understand either side of the trade, to be completely honest with you. I'm going to take a drink here real quick, 1 second. All right, excuse me for that. So the Ravens are getting a mid-round draft pick back, and the Broncos have Case Keenum on the roster. I don't think anybody wins in this trade, to be completely honest. I figured if the Ravens would have waited till past the draft and the team didn't get a quarterback, like Tampa Bay or Miami, maybe they give up like a second rounder, or I don't know, maybe 2 third rounders for Flacco. He's been to a Super Bowl. He's won a Super Bowl. I don't think the Ravens got enough. Maybe they did. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Fett likes it more than I do. I personally don't like it for the Ravens because I think they could have got more. And I don't like it for the Broncos because you have a similar player, Case Keenum. And Case Keenum's younger. So unless you think you can get more of a trade for Case Keenum than you do for Flacco, and you really want Flacco as your quarterback, I don't know. I really don't understand. And I guess it's all going to come down to what Denver gets out of Keenum, I guess. Because if Denver gets a second rounder out of Keenum, or hey, the Vikings got a first rounder out of Sam Bradford. So if they can get a first rounder from Sam Bradford, maybe the Broncos can get a first rounder for Case Keenum. I mean, I highly doubt it, but there are some needy teams. And again, just to pick out a couple, Miami and Tampa Bay, not really sold on their quarterback situation. The Dolphins basically came out and said they're moving on from Tannehill, and the Bucs really aren't sold on Jameis Winston or Ryan Fitzmagic. So I don't know. I don't understand the trade from either team, and I feel personally like the trade was rushed, and that's just my opinion on it. And maybe the Fed will have a better opinion on it because that's his team. So, more football news. Antonio Brown has requested a trade from Pittsburgh, and he seems like he's on his way out. And it's seeming like the landing spots could be anywhere from San Francisco to the Colts to Dallas even could get into the mix. And there's a couple other teams that there's probably going to be some sleeper team. My biggest fear is that he goes to Jacksonville, and Jacksonville scoops Case Keenum maybe, because Jacksonville's another team that could use a quarterback. Like, again, going back to the Flacco trade, I don't understand. There's so many other teams. I just don't get it, and I don't understand from either side. But Antonio Brown's on his way out of Pittsburgh, and Le'Veon Bell is also on his way out of Pittsburgh. So Pittsburgh is going to be looking to reboot here shortly. So now that Antonio Brown's going to be gone, they have Juju, and the Steelers are probably staring down an 8-8 season. Unfortunately for my uncle and my cousin, who are both Steelers fans, it's not looking good. It looks like the Steelers are moving farther and farther away from Super Bowl contendability, and the players are giving a lot of power anymore in today's sports, and the NBA proves it, and it's starting to make its way into the NFL. And the Steeler way was always, if you didn't buy in, you get traded, and I'm all for it. I like it, and it's worked for the Patriots because they've won multiple Super Bowls lately, and it's really worked for the Steelers because the Steelers have 6 Super Bowls too. So I don't know, that mindset may not work anymore. I'm still on board with it. I still like it. Who knows? I guess we'll wait and see where Antonio Brown goes. And I've already said I don't really want him in Indianapolis. I think the guy is a self-centered player, and I don't know if the Colts locker room is ready for that yet. And same with I wanted Le'Veon Bell, and I think I'm more good with Le'Veon Bell than Antonio Brown, because in Le'Veon Bell I would just have to sign, whereas Antonio Brown I'm probably having to give up like a second rounder, maybe even a first rounder, and at that point I'd rather just develop guys, because I still have T.Y. Hilton, and Dontrell Edmond did just fine, even though we have to re-sign him, but he's not going to cost an arm and a leg either. So I don't know. And there's still some decent receivers that, because the draft is so defensive heavy and there's so many pass rushers this year, probably the best receiver is going to fall to the Colts down in like the 20s. So, or even that, we can even move up to go get one. So we have a lot of draft capital, and if the Steelers call and say it's only going to take one of your 2 second-round picks, and we give up that Jets pick that we got that's almost a first-rounder, okay. If it's going to take that in like a third, I can kick it around. I'm cool with it. Other than that, no, I'm not giving up a first rounder for a prima donna wide receiver like Antonio Brown, who basically gave up on his teammates. And I understand Le'Veon Bell did basically the exact same all year. But with him, I just have to pay him money, and I don't have to give up draft picks. So I can pay him $15 million a year to $18 million a year. And I still get every one of my draft picks. So I can find another receiver. I have Andrew Luck, who can make bland receivers look good. So I would rather take my chances there. On the other side, the other prima donna receiver that I personally think has a better attitude than Antonio Brown, reason being, this said receiver really has only had one incident since he got paid. And that is Odell Beckham is reportedly possibly on the way out, and the Browns are kind of interested. And Dustin Fox was hearing that it would only take a first rounder and a third round pick to get him to Cleveland. And I think the only way the Browns don't say no is if they're planning on trading up into like the top 3 or 4 to go get an elite pass rusher. But if you're talking in the 17 range to go get Odell Beckham and pair him with Baker Mayfield, Jarvis Landry, Duke Johnson, Nick Chubb, and now Kareem Hunt, I don't know how you say no. That offense would just be ridiculous. And I guess to compare it to the Colts situation, if they feel like their locker room's ready, then go for it. And if the Colts are talking about getting Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown to pair with T.Y. Hilton and Marlon Mack, and at that point, I'd say go for it. And I guess the locker room plays itself out and hope they all buy it and pay Le'Veon Bell, pay Antonio Brown, and make them happy. Just go make it the Browns and Colts and score 150 points a game. I don't know. In both situations, if the Browns get Odell Beckham, I'm genuinely scared for the AFC. Because Baker Mayfield made Brashad Perriman look like he could play in the Pro Bowl this year. And you pair Odell Beckham with his cousin Jarvis Landry, and now you have Kareem Hunt, who's going to be suspended most of the year. But you have Nick Chubb, who ran for 1,000 yards as a rookie and looks like a superstar back. And you have Baker Mayfield, who's going to, at the very worst, is going to be a top 10 quarterback in the league, I think. Yikes. Okay, that team's scary. That team is going to be terrifying next year if they get Odell Beckham. Okay, I'm terrified for the Colts. I'm terrified for the Chiefs. I'm not terrified for the Patriots. I still hate you guys. And by the way, that was the worst Super Bowl of all time. So I don't, you called Brady the GOAT all you want. The guy did absolutely nothing. He made one good pass the whole game down in where they can get to scoring position, and then Sonny Michel ran it in. So Brady was terrible that game. If the Rams were anything close, if Jared Goff was anything close to a halfway decent quarterback, the Rams win that game. If the Saints don't get cheated, the Saints win the Super Bowl by 3 touchdowns. And the Chiefs completely laid an egg against the Patriots, and the Colts laid an egg against the Chiefs. So the AFC just gave Patriots a cakewalk all the way through. So Brady wins another ring, and I guess he deserved it because his team won, but he really has been ineffective the past 2 Super Bowls. And although it's great to see a dynasty, I hate that it's in Boston, and I don't think we'll ever see this again. So it's pretty impressive, and I lean more towards it's more Belichick than Brady. Brady is more of a check-down quarterback that just fit perfectly into the system. To me, he's like Nick Foles, except with a weaker arm. Nick Foles is a big arm guy who can't fit in any other system except for an up-tempo offense, apparently, because he was great with Chip Kelly in Philly, and now he's great with Doug Peterson in Philly. So apparently that's his system that Nick Foles works well in, and Tom Brady works in a dink-and-dunk Bill Belichick system. So I think it was a perfect quarterback at the perfect time, and the Patriots got extremely lucky. They found a quarterback that fits perfectly in their system in the 6th round. So I do not think Brady is the GOAT. I don't even put him in my top 5 quarterbacks, to be completely honest with you. And that may seem like I'm a hater, and call me a hater. I don't care. I don't like the guy. I don't think he's good, and there's really not a whole lot I can agree with him on, except politically, I guess. So other than that, I'm not a big Brady fan, and I really think he's overhyped. So good job, New England, on beating the worst of the worst in the NFC and basically winning another Super Bowl. So more football news. I'm trying to think because I thought something else big happened. Oh yeah, Kareem Hunt got signed. Not a big fan of the signing. I mean, of course he's a great player, so for the Browns it's great. Just that situation, and I don't like wife beaters or woman beaters. I think as a man you should never lay your hands on a woman unless she's trying to shoot you or stab you with a knife and literally trying to take your life. But if she's throwing punches and calling you names, I don't think you should ever lay your hands on a woman. And some people say it's unforgivable. I disagree. I think everybody deserves a second chance. I really do. It's no secret that I'm a Christian, and God gave each and every one of us a second chance, and a third chance, and a fourth chance, and as many chances as we have. So, for me, I believe everybody deserves a second chance. And I'm glad he's not on the Colts, because if I was an owner or general manager, I wouldn't have touched the guy with a 39.5-foot pole. And he had problems coming out from college into the NFL, and he beat some lady in Cleveland, which coincidentally now he's going to be playing in Cleveland. So, I don't know. It's a very touchy subject, I guess. For the Browns, they look like the bad guys right now, and they only paid the guy $1 million with bonuses. Even with bonuses, it's $1 million, so there's really no risk, no reward. Or no risk, very much reward. So the Browns look like a bad guy now, and if Kareem Hunt becomes a top 4 back in the league, then you have Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb on the same team, and then Duke Johnson, that team's scary. That team can just become ridiculous. So there's a lot of upside there, and I understand why John Dorsey did it. And again, I believe in second chances. Just for me personally, I wouldn't have signed the guy. That doesn't mean he doesn't have a right to work anywhere. Hey, I don't hate the signing by Cleveland. They want to give the guy a second chance. I'm okay with it. Like, do I condone his actions? No. I think it's horrible. I think it's disgusting. And I don't think it's anywhere close to right, no matter what she was saying to the guy. And I don't care if she threw the punch first. I don't care. I don't think a man should hit a woman. I don't. But I also believe in second chances, and third chances and fourth chances. So the guy, I'd have been fine with him working anywhere else, and I don't even really have a problem with him being in the NFL. I really don't. And the whole thing that's going around that I saw with woman beating is okay, but kneeling for the anthem's not okay, so that's why Kaepernick doesn't have a job, I guess just asinine. Eric Reed just got a job. You know why he got a job? He's a great safety. You know why Kaepernick doesn't have a job? Because he's not a good quarterback. And here come the answers. There's a lot of backup. He'd be a backup quarterback for a lot of other teams. You're right. He probably would be a backup for other teams. And guess what? Do you want your backup quarterback being interviewed day in and day out? The backup quarterback who holds the clipboard. That's why he's not signed. Because he is a distraction, and nobody wants their backup quarterback to be a distraction. If you're a Peyton Manning level, if you're a Joe Flacco level, if you're a Tom Brady level, if you're a quarterback that will win games in the football league, and you're going to give your team a position or a chance to play in the playoffs, I guarantee at the most important position in the National Football League, Colin Kaepernick would be a quarterback. But he's not a good quarterback. It's not about what he did. It's not about the kneeling that he doesn't have a job. He now hasn't played in like 3 years. And the last time he played in San Francisco, he was horrible. They had like the number 3 pick in the draft and got him Solomon Thomas. Okay? That's not why. Although I disagree with his kneeling. And I hate it. I believe you should stand for the national anthem. And you should have respect for it. And you should respect the flag and stand for the flag. Guess what? If he's a good player, he's going to get signed. But he's not. Okay? The NFL's not excusing one thing for another thing. No. You know why Kareem Hunt got signed by the Cleveland Browns? Because last year he was a really good running back. And the year before that he was a really, really good running back. That's why he got signed. That's why Eric Reed got signed. Because he's a really, really good football player. Not because he didn't. He took a knee for the anthem. Guess what? He got paid. NFL ownership doesn't give two flips. It's a risk-reward thing. It's a risk. Eric Reed's going to get interviewed about it. Guess what? He's going to probably be up in the top 4 safeties and tackles this year in interceptions. He's going to help the Panthers defense. Colin Kaepernick, if he gets on, guess what? He plays in the preseason. And then he doesn't get seen again. You know what people are going to say? They're going to ask him after the game. They're going to ask the coach, when's Kaepernick going to get to play? And they're going to ask Kaepernick after every game if kneeling for the anthem is the reason why you didn't get to play today. Why would you bring that into your locker room when you're trying to win a Super Bowl? Because your quarterback stinks, so you bring in this guy as a backup? That's why I'm not touching Colin Kaepernick with a 39.5 a bowl. I have Andrew freaking Luck as my quarterback. I have Jacoby Brissett as my backup. With Andrew Luck as my starter, if I didn't have Jacoby Brissett and the Colts signed Colin Kaepernick, I don't need questions on why Colin Kaepernick is not playing over Andrew Luck. And then you know what they would say? It's because Kaepernick's black and Andrew Luck's white. That's why Kaepernick's not playing. No. Andrew Luck's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and Kaepernick is not a good one. So that rhetoric needs to end. Kaepernick's just not a good player. And he's not even a good person, let alone a good player. Okay? The reward is not worth the risk. That's why Kaepernick's not being signed. Kareem Hunt, don't be an idiot anymore, please. Stop being an idiot. Don't hit women anymore. And in the baseball news, Bryce Harper shaved, so Yankee Nation's gone nuts, and I'm hoping Bryce Harper comes to New York. But there's still been no signing of him or Machado. So spring training, pitchers and catchers reported, thank God. And baseball is almost around the corner. And the Yankees are apparently the odds-on favorite to win the World Series. So I don't know how you could say that when the Red Sox just won, and they really didn't lose a whole lot of people. So I don't understand how the Yankees are number 1. And they haven't signed Bryce Harper or Manny Machado. So I'm not understanding it, but maybe it's because they're young. But anyways, I've taken up too much of your time. I thought I was going to be quicker than this, but apparently not. Apparently I missed talking to you guys. So SkiveWalker, sign it off. Make sure you follow us on SoundCloud. And if you're into gaming, I'm just bought a PlayStation camera, so I'm going to be streaming a whole lot more on Twitch and YouTube. Really just whatever I depend on playing on that day. So go follow me there, just TheSkiveWalker. If you look that up, hey, there it is. And I'm not going to leave a link in this description because it's we're talking about sports and not video games. But one last thing on video games is that the Nintendo Direct for me did absolutely nothing yesterday. So not really looking forward to a whole lot until Pokemon or something else in Smash comes out. All right, guys. Have a good Valentine's Day. Talk to you guys later. Peace.